All right, welcome back to another edition of Baseball for Maniacs. This is going to be a special episode with a special guest host, Sheffield Shuffler. Welcome to the pod. Just tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and your baseball and Phillies journey.
Yeah, what's up, Owen? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, dude. We connected on TikTok. Meet a lot of dudes on TikTok, meet a lot of dudes on the internet. So, yeah, I saw that you're a Phillies guy, a baseball guy. Baseball is my biggest passion. I moved to Philly area. Like, I'm in South Jersey. So I moved here like 4 years ago. My wife's from here. So, yeah, I became a Phillies fan just like 4 years ago. I'm not like a lifelong fan. I grew up in Chicago. I'm born and raised in Chicago. So, you'll see like I got some Cubs stuff. Like I'm born and raised a Cubs fan my entire life. Then I moved out here and then, I got Schwarber, Castellanos, former Cubs. So it was very easy to fall in love with the Phillies and the Eagles. I moved here in 2021 and it was like the best time to become an Eagles fan and a Phillies fan. So it was like, it made sense. I'm 25 minutes from the stadium. I'm a big baseball guy. So yeah, man, like I'm newer to the Phillies stuff. But my whole goal is to establish myself as the Phillies guy, as like you are too. Like we're just here to support the team and talk ball.
Love it, love it. You know, it's funny. So I actually grew up in Jersey, but I went to college in Florida. So I moved here permanently in 2021, which is kind of the worst time when the Phillies started to pop off. But I brought my love to Florida, and I always make it down for Red October every single year.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, dude. Red October is the best time of the year. Unfortunately, it's been pretty short-lived the last couple years, but still the best time. Just got to extend it a little bit longer this year.
Yeah, I always say if they're in the playoffs, I'm there. Whether it's the NLDS or NLCS World Series, I'm there ready to support my boys.
Yeah.
So let's get into the questions. First one is, what does being a Phillies fan mean to you? I know you've been in it for 4 years, but I'm sure you've experienced all the highs, all the lows. Just tell me a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just a baseball is my biggest passion. That was the first thing I ever fell in love with in my life. I started playing at 3 years old, played all the way through college. So just baseball is my favorite thing in the world. It's my favorite sport. I think it's a metaphor for life in a lot of ways. The Citizens Bank Park, one of the most underrated parks in baseball. I think it doesn't really get a lot of recognition. It's not like a top five stadium, but I would say top 10 for sure. That whole area with Xfinity Live, CBP, the link, like that's such a cool area. The casino's right there. I love going to the casino. So yeah, it's just been great. Like I said, getting here in 2021, just as the Phillies kind of were like in that mode of, hey, we're going for it. They start, obviously made the World Series. So it's been a lot of fun to experience. It's a awesome sports town. That's why it was so easy to fall in love with, because it's such a great sports town. It's not like I'm in, Des Moines, Iowa, where there's nothing going on. So everyone here is pretty passionate. I wouldn't necessarily say knowledgeable as far as like football goes, maybe. There's a lot of idiots. Just listen to WIP if you want to listen to that. But yeah, dude, like I love the team. I love ball. I go to spring training every year in Clearwater. So yeah, that's a little bit about kind of like the last couple years being a Phillies fan.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and I always say this about Red October. If you have never experienced Red October, you can't understand the energy in the stadium unless you've been there. And it's just something special, man. And your point on WIP, it's so funny. I watch those guys all the time. It's like a soap opera for me, especially when the Eagles lose. Yeah.
They just try and come up with ways to divide the team. That's what my goal is, Owen. I want to be the voice of the fans outside of WIP, because a lot of fans know how toxic that station is, and everybody there just wants to cause issues and come up with problems, blah, blah, blah. So I want to be the voice of a Phillies fan that you can go to and listen to stuff outside of WIP, outside of the Negadelphia mentality. You know what I mean? Talk more, all about baseball. Talk about the Phillies. So that's kind of my goal, is to like have another place for fans to go to outside of WIP where you can like have some positivity, talk about it, and not, yeah, be like a soap opera, Castellanos is dividing the locker room, like all that shit. You're just like, all right.
Freaking hated that, man, because it's like he was answering questions the right way, and it's like we're trying to win a World Series. We're not trying to get your viewership up. This our
Right.
goal as fans is to support the team. Of course, there will be frustrations, but we love ball and we love the Phillies. So I appreciate you being a voice of reason when a lot of times in the Philadelphia media it is quite the opposite.
Exactly.
All right, and then talking about heartbreak, let's get into the next question. Just give me your thoughts on the 2025 season, the ending in the NLDS, and just how heartbreaking that was because I really thought this was the team that was going to do it.
Yeah. Can I first say the one thing that bothers me the most
Mhm.
is people blaming Orion Kirkering for the end of the season. So that bothers me the most. That tells me that you don't know anything or don't know much about baseball. You had 11 innings to score a run and you didn't do it. If I place a glass bottle on the edge of my counter, and my daughter comes over and knocks it off, whose fault is that? That's my fault. I put her in that situation. I should have never done that. You had 11 innings to score runs against the Dodgers, dude. You shut out Otani. He was a non factor. Mookie Betts, non factor for most of the series. And you didn't capitalize offensively. And you're going to blame Orion Kirkering? Save me. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. You know what I mean? So that's the least of my problems. You didn't score any runs. You can't win a game if you don't score runs. So that was the thing that upset me the most when people were getting down on him. That bothered me. That's not who you should be blaming. But yeah, I mean the Dodgers went on to win the World Series, so it's not like like that Diamondback series in 23. That one hurt when you're up 2 games and you're coming home. The Dodgers they're a powerhouse, man. I mean they're a great team. They went on to win the World Series. If we didn't have divisions, that could have easily been the World Series of Phillies and Dodgers. They didn't get blown out. They blew out the Dodgers one game. They were in every game. So there's I look at like positivity stuff that in that series, it sucks the way that it ended. But that's life. And some people don't know how to enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? Like the people that are like, wake me up in October. Nah, then don't come to October, dude. The whole point is like I get to watch a Phillies game every night at 7 o'clock. I get to watch that, watch the game. Like it's the journey all the way along. You're not going to get to the mountaintop every time. There's one team every year that does it out of 30. That's it. So enjoy the journey a little bit. It's disappointing. It is, but that's why we care because we're invested. Like I think baseball fans are some of the most passionate fans because you watch 162 games. You don't just watch on Sunday afternoon, one game a week. Like you're invested every day. That's why it hurts. Like I invest 3 hours a day every night, 7 o'clock to watch this team. So yeah, it's disappointing, but it's fun, dude. It's like, I don't know. Look at like a project. Like we're trying to win the World Series. So like now the off season's interesting and like the additions and what needs to change and who's coming in. So I love the game, dude. And obviously I care a lot. But it's a game at the end of the day. Like they don't care about me. I love the team. It's great. Like it's not gonna ruin my life if they lose. You know what I mean? So um, that's a little bit about that.
Dude, and 100%, because I always say during the season, it's an 8 month journey from when pitchers and catchers report to the 6 month season to the playoffs. And like, we're doing this stuff in the off season. So we're enjoying Phillies content all the time. And the Wake Me Up in October fans, because it's like what makes October so special if they eventually get it done is the spring training moments. It's the games, it's the Sunday afternoons, it's the Wednesday afternoon getaway games that go 11 innings and you just have a bullpen game, or it's just like all those intricate details that make it so worth it. So I completely agree, man. It's the journey, it's not the destination. And then kind of to piggyback on Orion, I completely agree. So right after the eventual loss in game 4 on my TikTok, my first post was you got to feel for the kid because they're human beings. He did his job in the sense of he got the batter out. The moment might have been too big for him. He bobbled it. He threw it. It happened. But what happens in the postseason is if your stars don't hit, Harper, Turner, Schwarber, you're not going to win, man. And it was a competitive series. It sucks that we had to face them in the first round, but hey, that's baseball.
Right. Yeah. And like what you're saying about enjoying stuff, like if you can't enjoy a Wednesday afternoon or Thursday afternoon game with Mick Abel going against Paul Skeens toe to toe, like that's the stuff that I love. Like Mick Abel going toe to toe with Paul Skeens, like that's awesome. Like this is great. Like this is what you should be enjoying. Like don't miss this stuff that's happening on the road to October. So yeah, just kind of enjoying the road to October. All those little things. If you say "Wake Me Up in October," you're gonna miss all that stuff. Like there's a lot of great things baseball wise that happen April, May, that you're gonna miss if you just say "Wake Me Up in October." So
100%. And dude, that Mick Abel start was legit because like a couple days before they were like, "Yo, he's getting called up." And if you know Mick Abel, he struggled heavily before the 2025 season. And then you see these guys come up in the system. You see them at Lehigh Valley, you see them at Reading, and then they come up to the big league squad and they produce. Similar to how excited I am for Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford. It's all about that, man. It's the whole collective group of Phillies baseball. So I
right.
love that. And then next question, kind of your thoughts on the Phillies offseason so far. Obviously, they re-signed Schwarbs. They got Brad Keller, the Matt Strom. Just kind of give me your thoughts on how you think the Phillies offseason is going up until this point.
Yeah, so I think the important thing is to understand what's available, right? I think a lot of uneducated fans would be like, "Why don't we get Bregman? Why don't we get Scooble? Why don't we, you got to understand the economy or the business of baseball, right? Like who's actually available? What free agents are actually available? What prospects are you okay with departing with? Things like that. Like it's a chess match. It's a chess match of how you can navigate through the league, who you can acquire. The most important thing, Owen, to me, there are only a few teams that are trying to win games. There are only a few teams that are trying to win a ring. The Phillies are a team that is trying to win a ring. So, first off, like, gotta respect that. I will root for a team that is actively trying to win. If you're not, it makes it very hard for me to be a fan because you're investing all this time. The Phillies are a team, top four in payroll, dude. I don't know what else you want. People are, oh, good. They're top four in payroll. They're paying players. Two players over $300 million. What I mean, at some point, the players got to produce that you pay. So you can't just add every All Star. This isn't the show. Oh, 25, whatever it is. So Schwarber, awesome. I don't think there was any situation where he wasn't staying here, especially you saw reports that Cincinnati was going to offer him more money, and he said, that's not necessary. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So that's great. Obviously, very expensive DH, right? But he's finished second in the MVP voting. So what does that tell you? A guy that just hits finished second in MVP voting behind Shohei Ohtani, one of the best players in the world. So that was great. He's going to be here for another half decade. I think he's going to age very well because he's just a DH. He's not playing the field. He'll play left field, once a year, twice a year. So I think he will age gracefully because he doesn't play a position. Just like Bryce Harper. I love the fact that Bryce Harper moved to first base because I think he will age more gracefully than if he would still be in right field, especially after all his injuries and things like that. Brad Keller, I thought was awesome because I still watch my Chicago Cubs. Brad Keller was awesome in the Cubs bullpen. Maybe if you're not like locked in to the entire league, you don't know who Brad Keller is. Started with the Royals, moved to the bullpen, and he was electric with the Cubs last season. So that's an awesome move. Strom obviously left. Strom was good with the Phillies. I have really no problem with him leaving. You got Duran, you got Alvarado, you got Kerkering, and now Brad Keller. I think that's a pretty solid bullpen. Starting pitching, who knows what Zach Wheeler is going to look like, right? Christopher Sanchez, ace, dude. The best signing, I think, value-wise you could have got. Sanchez is just awesome. I love watching him pitch. So, it's still the outfield is still kind of up in the air, right? Are these young guys, are they going to produce? Do you believe in Justin Crawford? Do you believe in Aiden Miller? I don't know. I'm not watching them every game. I listen to people who do. They say Crawford doesn't have much pop. He gets on base, whatever, steals bases. So you kind of see how that goes. Harrison Bader. I thought Harrison Bader was a great deadline acquisition. I don't know if he's a great full season signing. I don't know. I think we got him at a good time. Hey, let's push for the postseason, and you can help us do that. We've seen him over full seasons. I don't know if he's an everyday center fielder, possibly. But that's obviously the weak spot, right? The outfield and then timely hitting in the postseason. JT Remulto, make up your mind, dude, because I have no problem moving off of you. JT's a great guy. He's like an awesome man, awesome person. You are an aging catcher whose offensive production has declined. You are a phenomenal catcher with pitching. The pitchers love you. They want to throw to you every day, and that's great. But you are handcuffing the Phillies right now in other decisions. Me, if JT's not if you're gonna play hardball, I need to move off and go get a Bregman and go get Bichette because that is what I need in the postseason. Offensive production in the postseason over the last 3 years, 4 years has been what's lacked. That's they just haven't showed up. Adding a Bo Bichette, adding an Alex Bregman to the lineup would improve your chances in the postseason. I would take the hit from the catching position and say, okay, maybe we don't have a great pitch caller as we once did, because I don't think Rafael Marchand is going to be like that guy, everyday catcher right now, at least. So that's kind of how I feel about the postseason. I'm sorry, about like the offseason so far. I think it's good, dude. Like not great, but also look at the market too. Like Tucker hasn't signed, Bellinger hasn't signed. Like the market, everyone that's represented by Boris, dude, just waits and waits and waits. And now the market starts to dry up a little bit, and now these guys are going to have to look at deals that are shorter with a higher AAV. And some teams love those kind of deals. Like I made a video about the Dodgers. The Dodgers would pay a high dollar amount for a short amount of years for Kyle Tucker. So yeah, for JT, make up your mind, dude, because I think there are better options when we're looking at positions. Alec Boehm, you can get out of here. Bryson Stott, you can get out of here. If you could get a Ketel Marte, if you can get an Alex Bregman, I don't know. Tell me how you feel. I feel like sometimes the teams have a hard time ripping apart pieces of a core, right? We know the core guys who've been here the last 4 years. I think some teams have a problem ripping apart, like, hey, Alec Boehm gone, Bryson Stott gone. Like some of the core guys who have been here the last couple years, they kind of like want to keep it intact. And that's why they keep saying, oh, we're going to just run it back. We're going to run it back. They won 96 games last year. They had the second most wins in baseball behind the Brewers. So there's really nothing wrong with running it back. They had the second most wins in baseball. So what's the issue? They didn't win 78 games. So I got a problem with people that say that too. But did I answer your question? I know I rambled for a lot.
Yeah,
So.
no, that was perfect. So basically, in my perfect world, I would let JT walk, but it goes back to your point. We don't know what the Bo Bichette market is. He might be getting offers from other teams that are just not feasible for us. But if Bo Bichette, let's say, I would say 25 to 30 AAV, right? And then you let JT walk. So JT's roughly, I would assume, make about 15 million in his next contract. So 15 million you save up, and then if you bring in a Bo Bichette, I think Alec Boehm is gone regardless. He's set to make 10, 11 million dollars in arbitration, so that's about 26 million free to for Bo Bichette. I think that has to be the move. Whether Bo Bichette comes in and play third or Bo Bichette plays second and Bryson Stott moves to third, because he did play third base to start the 2022 season. I'm all in on Bo Bichette because, like you said, what has been the Phillies' problem the last two postseasons, and really in the 2023 NLCS? It's hitting. You have Schwarber, you have Turner, you have Harper. Now, if they don't produce, you're not going to win regardless. But if you put Bo Bichette in the middle of that, it gives them a much better chance. Dude, imagine Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bo Bichette, Bryce Harper, or if you want to flip-flop Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. I think they need a right-handed bat. And I understand the point of, like, you thinking with the Phillies, you don't want to get rid of the core. And I understand that, but I don't think letting a aging catcher go. He's great defensively. He works great with the pitchers. Christopher Sanchez is still going to be Christopher Sanchez, whoever's behind the disc. Zach Wheeler, if he goes back to his form in 2024, 2025, he will be Zach Wheeler. So I just I want to change, but I don't think it's a change just to change. Like everyone says, let's get rid of Brandon Marsh. Well, who's coming in to replace him, right?
Right.
Brandon,
What are your answers to these things that you say, right?
dude, I get so many comments on TikTok like, "Oh, I'm so excited for the season, man. They're gonna run it back." And then I reply, I'm like, "Okay, so what would you do?" And they can't respond. They can't give me an exact answer. I think Bo Bichette is a good answer if his market fits in with what John Middleton and Dave Dabrowski are doing. Because here's the thing: John Middleton is one of the best owners in sports. I think he's the best owner. He dishes out the money. They have been top four in payroll the last 4 years. They paid $56 million in luxury tax fees alone. Not every owner is Steve Cohen that's a billionaire and can just sign whoever we want. So I love John Middleton, but man, give me Bo Bichette, dude. Let's bring in some life to CBP. But here's the ultimative thing. Like you said, they won 96 games. They're probably going to win upwards of 90 games again. That's great. It's all about what they do in the postseason. And I don't want to say the postseason is a crapshoot, but it's a crapshoot. And it's just who's playing the best baseball at the right time. I think Bo Bichette gives you a much better chance to win in the postseason than bringing back JT. But then it just all depends, man, on what the market is. And you can't just sign everybody. You have to, whatever the market is, you adjust accordingly.
Right. And like you said, the biggest need is a right-handed power bat. And I think they address that with Adolis Garcia. Granted, they are buying him at his lowest right now after two down seasons, from what he was the ALCS MVP or ALDS MVP, whatever it was. But I mean, look at the guy, dude. The guy's yoked. I mean, he's jacked. That's potential right-handed power because right now, Owen, who's afraid to walk Bryce Harper and face Alec Boehm? Nobody. There's no protection behind Bryce Harper right now. So you got a great 1, 2, 3, and then Alec Boehm is not a four hitter. Okay, 2 seasons ago he had a lot of doubles, which was great, but the guy's got no pop. Okay, so now I don't have to pitch to Harper because then I can get to Bohm and Castellanos and I can throw a slider in the dirt and they're going to chase it. So you need to build some protection at the top of that lineup for Harper. I don't know where they're going to slot in Garcia. I think they're just kind of feel it out to like how well he's playing at the beginning of the season. But I mean, they got him for the same price as Max Kepler. Like Max Kepler is an average player, career wise average, like league average player. Adolis Garcia, much higher upside. So I like the signing. I thought it was great. That could be your potential right-handed pop in your lineup that they got for a steal. So I'm not
Dude,
upset about that.
I love the Adolis Garcia signing because at worst, he's a defensive upgrade from Castellanos, and he has a hose in right field. We haven't had a guy in right field that's able to throw from right to third and just gun someone out in years. And the thing about Adolis Garcia that you mentioned is upside. Even if he's struggling, he's still a power threat. So let's say Adolis Garcia is your four hitter in October and Harper's hitting in front of him. Even though I'm sure the pitcher is confident that he can get him out. If he makes a mistake to Adolis Garcia at CBP, he's going to send one to the freaking moon and the stadium's going to erupt. It's all about perception. Alec Boehm had a decent postseason this year, but like you said, there's no threat of pop. We need someone in the four hole that can do that. Preferably, I'd want Bo Bichette 3, Harper 4, Schwarber. That's my dream offseason. But if Adolis Garcia is that four hitter, it is a clear upgrade. And going back on the point, we can't just spend money on everyone. There's not an unlimited fund in the John Middleton bank account. There's just not.
Yeah.
So I love the Adolis Garcia signing as well. I think he fits Philly, the energy, man. When he hit a homer, like a walk-off homer against the Dodgers, and he's just going like this, screaming to the crowd. Imagine that in Red October, dude. I'll be in the crowd for that, losing my freaking mind.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, like it's about like I want some Hispanic, some color in our lineup, dude. I mean, there's a lot of Brysons and Bryce and Nicholas and Alec. Like, bro, get an Adolis, get a Garcia in there, and then have Duran come out. Like, give me some Latin flavor, dude. These are the best players on the planet. Like, we need to, because they're not getting Japanese players. Like I talked about this, that like Philly is not a Japanese destination. So when fans are like, oh, we didn't get Amai and we didn't get Yamamoto, Philly's offered Yamamoto more money than the Dodgers. So don't say they're not trying. Philly's just not a Japanese destination. It's LA, it's San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and Boston. Like historically, that's where most Japanese players will land. Philly's just not one of those markets. So yeah, infusing some Latin flavor in the lineup, like I want to see that. I want to see that.
Man, I can imagine. And I think he's a perfect bounce back candidate. Similar to what you said about Bader. So I love Harrison Bader. I thought what he brought to the team was infectious. Unfortunately, he got hurt in game one, and I do think that changed the trajectory of the series. But man, if you look at his career stats, he's not a great hitter. He's a great defender, and that goes to the point. We don't know what Bader's market is. He was going to the offseason wanting a 3-year deal. Now that's just his agency, wishful thinking. You set the market high. But I'm not giving Bader 3 years, 45 million, because if he struggles, what are the fans going to say? Why on earth did you sign Harrison Bader? So they're much more reactionary than making the right move in the moment. Now, if the report comes out that they signed Harrison Bader to a 2-year, $30 million deal, I'm going to be going ecstatic. But it just goes to the point: you have to know the market, you have to know what's available, and because when Bader got traded to the Phillies, going back on WIP, they were infuriated with the move, but it worked out. Sometimes you have to let things play out. And
Mm.
similar, so this will be my last question, kind of getting your outlook on the 2026 Phillies. In my opinion, just wait and see, man. Enjoy the ride. We're going to be a playoff team. Whatever happens in October happens in October. But give me your thoughts on the Phillies 2026 season.
Well, I look at the first thing I look at is the division, right? The Mets are worse than they were last season. Nimmo's gone. Pete Alonso's gone. Like they lost. They got major holes in that lineup, and they haven't pivoted at all. So the Mets are in a worse position than they were last year, not making the playoffs. That's one. The Braves will be better. The Braves will be better. And I'm not worried about the Nationals or the Marlins. So basically, kind of seeing like how the Braves bounce back. Acuna will be healthy. Spencer Strider will be back. What's that guy's name? Shawver. They got like he's like a three name something.
Swell,
He's
I think, yeah.
he's awesome. Well, they
Yeah.
have Schwellenbach, but then there's like another
Oh,
Shaw or something like that. Whatever. They have a
yeah.
good. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how the Braves are. They could win the division, um, but obviously it's still the Dodgers show right now. The Blue Jays making moves, dude. They're spending money, which is I love to see it. And honestly, this is the last season before we're walking into a lockout, which is sad and scary. But like this is who knows how that's affecting these contracts as well, right? If you're paying guys X amount of dollars, knowing you're going into a lockout season, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, we know what happened in '94, but um, the thing I was going to say is the All Star Game, the Home Run Derby here in Philly, the 250th anniversary of the city. Um, I believe in like destiny and like stuff like that, and I just think that's a great storybook um storyline essentially. Like everything's happening here in Philly this year. They got like the I think FIFA World Cup or something is coming. They got the All-Star game, Home Run Derby. Schwarber will probably be in the Home Run Derby hopefully. I mean it's here in Philly or Harper, whoever. So yeah, dude, I'm always optimistic. I'm never negative about stuff. If you're negative about a team that won 96 games and goes to the postseason the last 3-4 years, that's on you, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Baseball has the highest variance in every sport. Every pitch changes the outcome and the statistics of everything else. So just here to enjoy the ride.
100%, dude, because it is a journey. We love Phillies baseball. We love the intricate details. And man, you get into the postseason. I believe in destiny too. Just imagine, like, everyone's down on the Phillies. They think the core's never going to win it, and then they finally do it the year before the lockout. I mean, you couldn't write a better story. So that's going to do it for us. I really appreciate you coming on. Let everyone know where they can find you on all social media platforms.
Yeah, everything is at Sheffield Shuffler. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. So I do a lot of things. Like I don't have just I don't cover just Phillies baseball or just baseball. I do like pretty much just whatever I want, dude. Like I don't care. If I think it's funny or entertaining, like I'm gonna make a video on it. So yeah, you can find me everywhere, Sheffield Shuffler.
Perfect, man. I appreciate this. I hope we get on another podcast sometime later in the year just to talk Phillies ball. But this was great. And go
Or
Birds. Let's
down at
take
the
a
bank, dude.
huh?
Or down at the bank. You come to the bank sometime.
Hey, I'll be there for All Star Weekend. I'm gonna go to the Derby. I'm gonna go to the All Star game. I'll probably catch the game right after. We'll connect. Imagine a live podcast outside CBP. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good one, brother. I appreciate it, and we'll be in contact.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Awesome.